had a good feeling about yesterday. I don't know why. I think a lot of it stemmed from the Forest result. The fact that there was such a big game, it gave us that bit of breathing space. I think if we'd have lost against Forest, I think that derby would have been a very different atmosphere, wouldn't it? It was a nervous atmosphere before Forest at the weekend. Obviously, I was at that game, and we did well and won despite some contentious decisions. But we went into this game with so much more belief. But our Derby record, let's be honest, it's deplorable, isn't it? Even when we weren't a great side in the 90s, we still gave them a game, didn't we? Particularly at Goodison, our record at Goodison was brilliant. And that was a bit of a throwback performance yesterday to the 90s, wasn't it? We ruffled them, we got in their faces. They still knocked it about a little bit, but other than a couple of saves that Pickford made, which were very, very important, obviously, but it was a bit of an almost semi dogs of war type performance, wasn't it? In terms of the crowd were up for it, we were putting tackles in. I mean, look, years ago you could get away with leaving one on someone at Derby, couldn't you, and just get a ticking off. Nowadays with VAR and everything else, it's totally different, isn't it? You run the risk of a red card with some of the tackles that you'd have put in 20 years ago. But it did remind me of that, and I thought the referee handled the game brilliantly. By the way, we've moaned about referees plenty of times on this podcast, and you don't like to, because at the end of the day, the best referee should never be even talked about. But I thought he handled that game really well. Obviously, Klopp was in the fourth official's ear every 5 minutes doing his head in. He was whinging a lot, but massive credit for the way the ref handled it. There were some tackles that were a bit 50-50, but he let it go. He obviously gave us a few decisions as well that may have been fouls, but they're the sort of homer decisions that you like to think you get in these types of games anyway when you're at home. So, yeah, but that was a throwback performance. I'm sure you boys would agree.